Welcome to another episode of CO Pod. I'm your host, Caroline, and today I'm joined by a good friend, Michele Wilson.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I am great. How are you?
Doing good. We're kind of getting to the end of our day here. My brain's not really working. How's yours?
It's a little slow, but we'll get through.
We'll get through. Awesome. Well, let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Yeah.
I would love to know a little bit more about you. How did you get into this construction space?
That's a really good question. I actually grew up in the trades. My dad is a master electrician of 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up as a little toddler, trying to carry his tool belt.
Yeah.
I learned early on what good construction is and what bad construction is. So that's how I kind of stumbled into this trade.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's either like either side. People either just stumble into it by chance, like myself, or they were raised around it their whole lives.
Yeah, and ironically, my degree is nothing related to construction. It's Spanish studies.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, I mean, that is kind of related to construction.
Yeah.
Because at least you can communicate with almost everybody on the job site, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's construction slang, I would say, in Spanish.
Oh, yeah. We can't say those words on this podcast, but I know them as well.
Yeah. You know.
Awesome. So, you describe yourself as disrupting construction with community and class. By the way, love that. But what does that mean to you?
I think that we can do construction differently.
Okay.
As a woman in construction, I think that we are entering a society and a time where people want more authenticity, more transparency, more honesty, more lined item on their bids versus just blanket things, right? And I quickly realized throughout my career that something was missing in this industry. And why not be the change that we want to see?
What was missing for you?
Collaboration, communication, and like I said earlier, transparency.
Yeah.
I had a client one time who, I just saw that they were getting taken advantage of ridiculously.
And unfortunately, that does happen a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. And he was getting taken advantage of because he had money.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was working with him, it quickly reminded me that there are a lot of people this is happening to.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to change that.
Yeah.
I wanted to create a system that was better
Yeah.
for homeowners.
Yeah. So I was going to start this later, but I think now is a great time. I really want to talk about coffee with contractors, cocktails with contractors. So for anyone in our audience, I would love for you to explain, what is this? What are we doing here?
So I moved to North Carolina about 4 or 5 years ago, and I did 1.5 years of networking. And I was looking for the vetted trades to work with. I was looking for the people that had my standard, my values, that operated around the same moral compass that I use. And I couldn't find them. And you go to any networking group, you go to BNI, you get one contractor, right? You go to a women's group, it's all women.
Yeah.
And it quickly became apparent to me that we were missing bringing the trades and contractors together to start healing the industry. And so I, on a whim one day, said, I want to host a coffee with contractors. I expected 10 people to show up. 30 did.
Wow.
On the first event.
Wow.
With very little marketing. I planned it in a month.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is shocking.
And I quickly realized that this was filling a gap in the industry. And Coffee with Contractors grew, and it grew so much that people started asking me to host other events. We started with a morning meetup of educational series, educational panels, talking about risk management, talking about collaboration, talking about interior designers, like everything that construction is.
Yeah.
And it quickly we grew into Cocktails with Contractors, which is like celebratory events. Let's celebrate our wins. Let's come together and say, hey, you did that, and I'm proud of you for it.
Yeah.
My last event brought a group of the permitting and development offices, the mayor, the chamber, and contractors together.
Wow. That's like full circle. You have everybody there.
Everybody that runs your town.
All your decision makers.
Yeah. Fire marshal, planning, like all of it. And that was such a like well-rounded event. And we did it kind of speed networking style, but people really enjoyed getting to know the administration of their town.
Yeah.
And I think that we need more of that because we can't fix the industry if we're all siloed.
Exactly, exactly. And I think, especially with construction, we do tend to get a little bit siloed, because we have all of our different verticals.
Mm-hmm.
And, you'll have plumbing here, you'll have electricians here, you'll have everyone, but they're kind of in their own lane, kind of do their own thing. So it's really interesting to see, when we can get all of these different people in a room together, what can actually happen.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit.
Yeah, and talking about that, what impact have you seen from these events on your community?
My insurance provider, he called me one day, 6 months after sitting on a panel talking about risk management. He goes, I need to thank you. I just got like 10 clients.
Wow.
From your event.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I built that relationship with them and then they ended up signing. And I was like, what? From me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like I just hosted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had interior designers whose businesses have taken off because they met with the right GC or they met with the right trades that were referring them.
Yeah.
That's the impact I see in this community is that we're moving into a group and a movement that is about communication, that is about collaboration. We're not just here for the transactions.
Yeah.
We're here to build the relationship.
Yeah. I think, and especially talking to you last night, we talked a lot at the CCC event together. And I think one of the biggest things we talked about was, shifting everything from transactional to let's just be damn humans. Let's talk. Let's do business as normal people.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the authenticity, you get the transparency.
Show up as yourself.
Yeah. And that's all you need to do. I think for me, I always think of that as my bare minimum. Just show up as me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do today.
But I think when people are authentic in these spaces, it raises the bar.
Mm-hmm.
We're elevating it without having to do actually any elevation.
Mm-hmm.
Just by being like, hey, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
Pull back the curtain on what is actually happening in construction.
Yeah. And, I think an interesting parallel to this, and I have no scientific research to show this, so nobody quote me out there that has scientific brains, but I think a really interesting correlation is this change within the industry of becoming more human-focused, more authentic, more real, and also, the rise of women in our industry, and also, the opportunities that are available to us now. So I think it's really interesting to see that correlation.
Absolutely. I think we're going to see a lot more women in positions of leadership.
Mm-hmm. I hope so, damn it.
I'm here for it.
I am too.
I think that it's been gatekept too long. I didn't know when I was in college that construction was an option.
Yeah.
Me neither. I wouldn't have gone to college. I would have gone to construction route all the way.
Yeah.
And it's an industry I absolutely love and I'm passionate about.
Yeah. So I want to know kind of what has your experience been, being, a female in this space? And I know everyone has a million stories. We could probably sit and talk for 2 hours on this, but just give me a brief picture of what that's been like.
You have to hold your own, but with respect, with dignity. Mm-hmm. I have had sub-trades come up and be like, darling.
Oh.
And that is like the worst. Like,
you call me honey or darling, I'm leaving.
I've set them in their place.
Good.
Men, and I work with men in the industry. I have utmost respect for them. They do know their craft. But it's those ones that want to, they're old school or they want to keep us in the box. They don't want to see us excelling in this industry. They're intimidated or whatever it is. I just don't put up with that. I don't put up with it on my job sites, and I don't put up with it in my groups, in the community, the CWC community. I'm not about it.
No. And then there's many men out there who are amazing and supportive, and it's just so amazing to see that support from them too, and have that backing.
It is. In fact, like one of the electricians I work with, he only hires females. And he trains them to be journeyman electricians. Like,
that's badass.
Right?
That's so cool.
And that's like, those are the people I want to work with. Those are the people who are like, I want to empower women to be in these industries. Mm-hmm. I just think it's impressive and again, the sky's the limit. There's enough sky for all of us to fly high, right?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things. And in construction, we tend to get a little bit competitive. We're bidding on projects, but remembering that this is such a large space. And there's room for all of us here, and room for all of us to come in as our authentic selves, our authentic companies.
Absolutely. And you know what? The generations behind us are watching.
Yes,
And they are hungry.
they are.
That's part of the mission behind the CWC community, is that there's an entire generation coming up behind us, and we owe it to them to give them a better industry.
Yes.
Construction used to be respected, and it's time to take that respect back into the industry.
So, speaking about, the next generation of our workforce, what are your predictions there? What do you see kind of happening, in the next few years?
Well, we all are aware the old guard is dying off.
Yes.
Okay. I think the gatekeepers, things are going to change. I think it's going to start from the bottom and work its way up. I'm actually on a mission to go change how this GC exam is done across the nation, because it is not minority friendly. It is not neurodivergent friendly, and it's a beast.
Yeah.
So I think we have to start there to get more women and more minorities into this industry in positions of leadership. So I have plans to go all the way to the top with my, let's get on the boards. Let's start talking about, why is this exam so difficult to pass as a GC? Why is it, a problem for the next generation? Why are they struggling and having to take this exam 6, 7, 8, 9 times before they pass it? Right? That should not be the reality.
Well, and it's think about it, if you have, learning differences, you have dyslexia, the last thing I'm going to want to do is go and study. I want to get out there in the field. I want to do what I'm good at, and reading, tests, that is not my strong suit.
Well, and it's not conducive to construction.
No, I don't need to know how to read words to lay a damn pipe. Come on.
I feel like the test needs to be more applicable in the physical realm. Hands-on. There needs to be a lot more hands-on part to the test, and a lot less of the book.
Yes.
We all know how to look up stuff in a book. We all know how to memorize questions and answers. What we are struggling with in this generation, and there are a lot of organizations that are trying to fix this, is getting the high schoolers, getting young college students hands-on experience to go into the trades.
Yes.
So why don't we flip the script on that?
What does that look like? Flipping scripts, tell me.
I think it looks like doing away with that exam, in my honest opinion. I think it looks like completely changing the trajectory of what the rules are. I mean, the NASCLA only covers 16 states. Every state has a different requirement for GCs.
Yeah.
Texas, you don't even need a license. You can just call yourself a GC.
Interesting. Okay, Texas.
Yes. Ohio, you can get a GC exam in 3 days. North Carolina, it's a whole rigmarole down here. But I think that's what it means to flip the script, is let's go practical.
So you quite literally are the disturber of peace here. I love it.
I am disrupting construction with class.
Yes. And it's much needed too. Without disruption, we don't have innovation.
Correct.
So, with that, I want to ask you my favorite questions of the entire podcast. We're going to go with some rapid fire.
I love it.
Tell me, what is one myth about residential construction that you'd love it if homeowners stopped believing?
Construction, a renovation for your house is not cheap.
Never. Ever.
We are past the days of a kitchen renovation being $20,000. The other myth I would like them to realize is you need to pad your budgets 15 to 20%.
Yep.
Because you're going to run into something in construction that's a surprise.
I think we've talked about that with some other guests. There's always that little bit. It's never going to go perfect.
No.
It's always going to be a little bit something that's unplanned, happy mistake, whatever you want to call it, but being flexible.
And your timelines are fluid. It takes one material being back ordered or delayed, and then or one inspection delaying you, and your whole timeline is thrown off. So that's another myth I would tell homeowners. Stop sticking to that.
I'm sure that was a mess during COVID. I'm sure those timelines were obsolete at that point.
Yeah. When things are taking 6 months to get in, there's just nothing you can do about that.
Definitely. And, before we end here, I think, Michelle, is there any special news, anything coming up in the future that you might want to give us a little glimpse into? I know some secrets here.
Yeah.
So,
Something fun is coming to Raleigh that
Okay.
hasn't been here yet. It is in other places in the country. And Cocktails with Contractors is partnering with them to bring something new and innovative that I think is going to be it's going to change how architects, how interior designers, how builders handle their clientele.
ooh, well, I am excited. I better be on the short list.
You're
for
on
all
the short
updates.
list for all the updates. Don't worry, Caroline.
And then you guys will hear it first here from construction owners when we're allowed to. But thank you, Michelle. This has been such a great conversation.
Oh, I've loved it. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and so great getting to know you as well.
You too.
Awesome. And for everyone at home, thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you next episode.